of hours we'll be doing it. But this week and next 2 weeks, I want to ask you to join me with Roger, because there's so much truth wrapped up in this. Let me talk with you for a moment about the truth he just touched on. Then I'm going to ask him to sing one more song. I'll never forget the day she came to me. She became very well known as a gospel artist, Annie Herring. And Annie had a child before she ever knew Christ. She'd been a well-respected in her region rock star and singer, and in her the life that she was leading outside of an understanding of God's purpose and the knowledge of His love. If you don't know His love, you're liable to seek things that are shallow substitutes. Even the greatest of human love or affection comes a great deal short of that fills the inner man and then makes an orderly dimension of love for our marriage and all other relationships understood in God's power and blessing and purity and fulfillment. But prior to that, she'd had a child, and at least she'd become pregnant, I should say, and had an abortion. She'd come to Christ and understood the mistake, the serious mistake of mishandling a life and taking it before it had a chance to live. But she learned that not in an atmosphere of condemnation that pointed its finger and sneeringly said some anti-abortion statement that caused either an antagonistic response or a guilt response. She'd recognized that all of us fail in so many ways, that there's things we all abort of God's purpose in our life, things that are cut off short of being because we don't know Him. And she understood the Lord had forgiven that particular facet of her failure along with all others. But she said to me one day, Pastor Jack, she said, I want to know the answer to this question. Since that really was a life, what will be my encounter with that child someday when we meet in heaven, because I shall join that child there. And I had the privilege of, out of the context of that conversation, writing a book many are familiar with, I'll Hold You in Heaven. But the point in mentioning that book, which is hundreds of thousands, every month I get letters from people who write and say what that has done to heal a hurt from either an abortion in their past or a miscarriage that's taken place where you never got to have the life that was given you to embrace, but I'll hold you in heaven. And that's rooted into this fact that because God has a plan transcendent of all things on this earth, and that when we're fashioned for life, it is His passion that that life be realized in fullness. Whether even in an unborn or miscarried infant, that child goes into the presence of the Father, and that parent will join that child someday. And all questions will be lost and past in the mystery and the marvel of God's everlasting love, where we'll be with Him. I want today to have you join me in recognizing that there is, through Jesus Christ, our Redeemer, a tremendous promise of His ability to restore whatever's been lost. And Roger, it leads me to one of your most widely sung songs around the world, God is my Redeemer. Go ahead and sing that for us, if you will. God is my Redeemer, great, great, mighty, recovering love, redeeming love that buys back what's been lost and makes it livable again.
Oh, God is my Redeemer, and He heals me with reassuring love, and I love my Redeemer. Overwhelming, overcoming, redeeming love.
Chorus again, singing.
God is my Redeemer.
overwhelming and overcoming. Once more, sing it with us. Overwhelming,
overcoming, redeeming love.
I want to invite you, open to that love. Let the richness, the blessing, the dimension of that embrace that restores, recovers, redeems, and that brings a transcendent purpose in your life. Open to that. Roger, thank you for letting these songs of worship exhilarate and refresh us today. God bless you for joining us. Stay with me for a moment. I have one additional message.